What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the Pokemon Sun and Moon Megas that I would like to see in Pokemon Sun and Moon. After recording this, I realized how dumb that first sentence sounds, so I apologize. However, let's just go ahead and talk about my top 5 legendary Pokemon that I want to see get Mega Evolution. Now, I know that there's this big discussion over what is mythical and what is legendary. I don't give a shit about that. They're all legendary. They're all special, so that's what I'm considering legendary. Everything from the legendary birds down to Volcanion. Every single one of them are legendary to me. This list is going to have some weird Pokemon, some weird designs, some weird things, and most of all, broken shit. Keep this in mind whenever you're watching this video. I realize how broken some of these are, and I'm okay with it because they're legendary. They're supposed to be the strongest and the most badass. This first one is one that made me laugh so damn hard when I saw this artwork. Not because it's bad, but just because it's so unique looking, and that is Mega Deoxys. I want Mega Deoxys to have Levitate because it's already hovering over the air. In the movie Destiny, Deoxys, it was flying everywhere. Like, for God's sakes, give it Levitate. Bad thing about Deoxys is that it's already stupid OP. It has base 150 in all its attacks and speed. The only downside is how frail it is. It has base 50 in HP defense and special defense. So the way you buff that is you give it a shit ton of defense investment. Give it 35 in each stat, making it 85 in each, and then take the leftover 30 that you would have for your stats and dump 10 into attack, speed, and special attack. This would in turn not make it super broken to the point to where even the Ubers tier wouldn't be able to hold this thing. It would just make it to where it could actually live hits. It would also make it so that if you wanted to, you could run a Mega Deoxys lead with Taunt, Spikes, Stealth Rocks, and Knockoff, and all this other stuff, and not risk being killed after your first hit like you do with Deoxys Speed. It would basically be like a closer thing to Deoxys Defense, just without like base 369 defense. My main reasoning for Mega Deoxys is because it is probably the one legendary in 3rd gen that gets zero love at all. It was in Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. Yeah, that was a cool thing. But after that, was it ever mentioned again? Nope. Why? I do not know. Deoxys was a massive key point in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in the Delta episode. It was just a really cool Pokemon. And after everything that they did for you to get it, you should be able to Mega Evolve it. At least, that's my opinion. The next Mega that I really want is actually one that I think a lot of people want, and that is Mega Regigigas. This was the only art design that I could find that didn't make it look like an absolute Ben 10, but now it looks like the Megazord from the Samurai Power Ranger. Either way, I'm okay with both of those things. Regigigas is in PU. A legendary is in PU. That's not how this should be. This thing needs to get rid of Slow Start. After Slow Start is gone, I promise you, this thing would be stupid good. However, I want it to be better. I want it to be fatter. It has base 110 in its HP, defense, and special defense. That's not enough for me. I want it to be 130 in its defenses. I want it to be fat. I want it to be an amazing wall that is so great that even the likes of Giratina and Ubers looks at this thing and is like, huh, that needs to go on a diet. I also want this thing to be a little bit faster because as of right now it's base 100 speed, which, you know, isn't slow, but whenever you compare it to the Ubers tier, there's a lot that is extremely fast, and being able to outspeed the likes of, say, a modest regular Darkrai, it would really come in handy to be able to outspeed those things. And base 120 speed would really do that, along with throwing the rest of it right into its attack stat, making it a whopping 200 base attack. For those of you who are curious as to how strong that is, Mega Medicham has base 100 attack with a jolly nature. Whenever you input your IVs and EVs, you wind up with a 152 base attack stat. Here's the thing. That 152 gets doubled. So that takes it up to 304 attack stat with a Mega Medicham. Now, if you were to say give it 200, this thing is still not as powerful as Mega Medicham. So to say that something this strong with a base 200 attack stat is too strong for any metagame and that it would be impossible to switch into, people switch into Mega Medicham. People switch into Diggersby and Azumarill, and they all have insane attack stats, just like this thing would have, except it would have the ability Mold Breaker, which means things like anything with Sturdy, anything with Levitate, anything like that could just get bopped by an Earthquake or completely one-shotted, and I think that would make this thing extremely powerful, and I personally would love that. This thing would have a higher attack stat than Primal Groudon. That is awesome. The next Mega that I really want to talk about is one Mega that I've wanted to, well, not a Mega, but a Pokemon that I've wanted to try in draft format for the longest time ever. That Pokemon is Celebi. I wanted to get a Mega Evolution with the ability Time Travel. Celebi was a very key Pokemon for me growing up. It was always awesome for me to try to look for this thing in the forest, and I never found it in my Pokemon Crystal version, and it was just a pain. However, now that we all have access to Pokegym, power saves, and all this other nonsense, being able to have a Mega Celebi would be absolutely awesome. However, I want this thing to have the ability Time Travel. What Time Travel can do is every single turn, there would be a 30% chance that Mega Celebi would go back in time in the battle and use the same move that was used against a Pokemon along with its original move. So say you had your Mega Celebi in and you went for a Giga Drain on something. Time travel activated and you went back to a time in the first part of the battle where this thing also used U-turn. So essentially in one turn you would be using Giga Drain and U-turn along with all of their added effects. This ability might sound a little complicated for Pokemon, however you have to remember Pokemon has some pretty complicated abilities. Ones that they heal your opponent's status, things where they hit twice already as it is, they have status ailments that inflict only 30% of the time. This might be a little bit of a reach, however it's a really cool idea and you have to admit it would be interesting to see how it would work out. As for its stats, I would like them to be distributed just the way they are already, with base 100 and everything. Give it 20 and everything, make it 120 everywhere. It would be a little bit bulkier, it would hit a little bit harder, and it would be faster than things like the Lottie Twins, Starmie, and the Lottie Twins and Starmie are two things that I base a lot of speed tiers off of, because they're very important speed tiers. And this thing could outspeed them both, hit them with U-turns, hit them with Earth Powers. By Earth Power, I mean Raikou and Starmie and things like that. This would essentially be a much more threatening setup sweeper as well. Say you use the Swords Dance set and you have Seed Bomb, and say you have just another physical attack. Say you set up to +2, you go for a Seed Bomb, and then Time Travel activates, and then all of a sudden you're hitting it with 2 moves at +2 in one turn. Nothing can live that. That would make this thing broken, and I would absolutely love it. The next Mega on the list is Mega Darkrai. Mega Darkrai has a very close spot to my heart. I mean Darkrai in general. It was the one Pokemon that I always made sure I hacked my game with Action Replay. I went to I think it was the Full Moon Island in my Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and I caught this thing. It was so awesome, and just thinking about using Darkrai again with a new form of it just brings back so much nostalgia. I wanted to keep the same ability because essentially this is the Nightmare Pokemon. What else would you want to give to it? However, I want this thing to be stupid broken. I want this thing to have base 170 special attack. That is insanely hard hitting, especially with the coverage this thing gets. I'm pretty sure this thing gets like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Psychic, it gets Dark Pulse, it has access to Dark Void, Dream Eater. Having base 170 special attack would make this thing absolutely stupid broken, and I love that. I love to have base 100 defenses as well, so it's a little bit bulkier, but not super bulky. And I like to throw a little bit into attack. That way it's not... The thought of a physical Darkrai isn't completely gone. You can still do it, it's just less viable. And then throw a 25 into speed, making a base 150 speed, so it speed ties with likes of Mega Arrow and Mega Alakazam. This thing would be super fast, it would be super hard hitting, it would just essentially be a stupid, amazing, and fun Mega to use in anything goes, because there's no way something like this would be Ubers. The last Mega that I want is a personal favorite of mine. You all know how much I love Jirachi, so I want Mega Jirachi. Stats distributed the exact same way as Mega Celebi, however, I want this thing to have the ability Shooting Star. Now, I cannot decide how I want this ability to work. There's a part of me that really wants this thing to be like a natural leftovers. The shooting star, it grants your wish. You have instant recovery every single turn of the 8 to 10%. Or if I want this thing to be like an instant life orb, to where you hit extremely hard, times 1.5 every single time no matter what, but you don't take the recoil. Either way, you'd be getting an awesome wish that people want no matter what type of playstyle you have, whether you're stall or offense. The problem is you can't do both. That's broken. So, I want your opinion on this. If you were to have the ability Shooting Star on Mega Jirachi, would you rather have it be an instant leftovers to where you could run the Mega along with the leftovers, or would you rather have it be like a life orb where it would just hit extremely hard even though you're not holding a life orb? Mega Jirachi overall is just a Pokemon that I love in general, and by love I mean I love regular Jirachi, so having a Mega for it would be amazing. I love how many different sets it can run, and I love the diverse move pool that this thing has, from Cosmic Power to Wish to U-Turn to Stealth Rocks to all of its offensive capabilities of being physical or special with Energy Ball, Icy Wind, Iron Head, Heart Stamp, Zen Headbutt, Body Slam, all these insanely awesome moves. I'm sold that Mega Jirachi is the #1 Mega that I want out of anything that I have gone over in this series. Well guys, there you have it, my top 5 legendary Pokemon that I want to get a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, I realize some of you are probably watching this and be like, Kelly, where's Gen 6? Well, realistically, I don't think there's going to be any Gen 6 Megas. Gen 6 just ended. As you can tell, when Gen 6 came out, there was one Gen 5 Mega. So I don't expect there to be many Gen 6 Megas. It's just the nature of the beast, I think. However, what that does mean is that I am out of things to give Mega Evolutions to. I've gone through every gen, I've gone through Legendaries. Now it's up to you guys to decide. Along with leaving me your opinion as to what you would like Shooting Star to do, I also want your opinion as to what you would like me to cover next for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So in the comments below, make sure you leave a comment leaving me those two options. That's basically going to be the end of the video. This was a much longer video than I thought it would be, and that is a little strange to me. But make sure you guys leave a like and a comment before you head out. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.